Dreamers live here with Bayut. Find real and authentic properties using TrueCheck. Download the app or visit Bayut.com.
From classifieds to capital markets, Dubizzle announced its long-awaited IPO yesterday. We are very pleased to be joined on the line by the group CEO, Haider Khan. Haider, good morning. It's lovely to speak to you.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're well, and you've had one of the most rumoured IPOs for years. Why are you pulling the trigger now?
It's funny. We've talked about it so many times on your show, and I've always said no comment. And I finally can make a comment. Look, I think we've been working on it for quite a couple of years, and I think it's just the natural evolution of the company, where we can allow everybody to be part of the journey. Dubizzle has been around for a long time, and there's a lot of work that's gone in. I think the markets have done well. The region has done really well, so it gives us an opportunity to really go out there and, as I said, allow everybody to be part of this journey. So we're pretty excited.
What were you looking for in terms of market readiness? I mean, okay, we've got Dubizzle readiness, but in terms of the type of market that you wanted to launch into, where did it have to be?
Look, Dubizzle has Dubai in its name, so Dubai makes a lot of sense for us, as I said, generally, the region is one of the positive things in the world right now, when it comes to the GCC in general. So Dubai was a very natural for us. It's true to our entrepreneurial spirit, and the exchange makes a lot of sense for us to go ahead and invest on this exchange.
Okay, well, let's dig into the nitty-gritty of the offering itself. It's a mix of existing and newly issued shares. So it doesn't just raise money for your shareholders, but it's going to raise money for Dubizzle as well. Why have you structured it like this, and what will Dubizzle use its money for?
Sure. So as you correctly pointed out, there are two components. One is the secondary component, which is we have some very old shareholders, and we're providing liquidity for them. So it's a good, successful story. It's a good outcome for them. They've been involved for a long time. And then there is what we call the primary money, which is going to go towards a couple of things. One is we're looking to further invest in our product and tech. We're going to be on the lookout for any M&A, and then we want to take care of we've had employees for a long time, and some of that is going to go towards taking care of the employee options that we have. So hopefully, it turns out to be a good day for everybody.
Okay, so employee options might be divesting then. How far down the chain does that go in Dubizzle?
It does go down quite a bit. As I said, we've had people in the business for a long time, and one of the key things for our success really has been the people in the business and consistency of those people and the longevity of those people. It does actually. It's not just at the management level. It goes quite well below that into all of the different departments and the people who've been with the business for a while.
You're offering 3% to retail investors. We've seen IPOs massively oversubscribed on the retail front. The Capital Markets Authority in Saudi have just come out actually and asked their new IPOs to allocate a lot more for investors. Why have you gone with 3%?
I think we work with our advisors, and I think that's all I can say at this point. I do. Dubizzle is a homegrown name, so I is a household name. So I understand the question, but that's what in all the discussions that we've had, that's where we've ended up, and hopefully once it's listed, it's available to everybody out there.
But as a strategy, were you more interested in bringing in, and you've got some very big names here, and we'll get into that in a moment, bigger institutional investors? Is that more the strategy play, rather than, as you say, household name people who would recognise Dubizzle and take advantage of that brand equity?
Look, I think what we're trying to do is when you go and you do a listing, you're going to have a mix of all sorts of funds, and we're looking for high quality funds, and they're funds that are just long only. There's all sorts of funds. But we wanted to look for quality investors. We still believe in the journey. We're very excited about it. I think there's, we're looking forward to the future. So we want to have people who can, who believe in the journey that we're about to embark on. And this is just, this is just one stop along the way. Or we've been doing this for almost. For me personally, over a decade, but the business has been around for 2 decades.
What's your plan in terms of a dividend policy? This is a market that likes a dividend.
Yeah, so look, I think, in terms of what we've said is, we're a high growth business, we're a tech business, and we're in the short term, we're actually don't have a dividend policy. We're going to be investing basically into just building the business and focus on growth. And then in the medium term, we do have guidance around having a dividend.
Does that mean, and I noticed that, as you say, there wasn't a formal dividend policy there. There was a lot of caveats about what you couldn't do. Does that mean you won't be offering a dividend for the first few years? What's that going to look like in practice? As I said, it's medium term, and I cannot actually break that down right now any further. But in the near term, as we IPO, what we're going out with is there's no dividend. We're just going to focus on it's a high growth tech company, and and that's typically how tech companies around the world are. Where they focus on growth and everything goes towards just growing the business. And I think there's a lot of upside still available in the region. Let's look at your growth plans. Over the next 12 to 18 months, where does Dubizzle see the majority of its profit growth coming from?
So as we shared, the numbers, we've had a lot of growth in the UAE. If you look at our first half of this year compared to the first half of last year, we've grown 32%. And our EBITDA margin has gone up to 46% in the UAE, and a lot of that converts into free cash flow. It's around 85% of free cash flow conversion. So we continue to grow at a very high rate in the UAE. And then it's early days in Saudi Arabia, but we've laid the foundation and we're very excited about that opportunity. So that is going to be a core focus for us going forward. We're super excited about it.
Okay, let's look at the types of revenue. You've got obviously those subscriptions, recurring revenues from your advertisers like real estate agencies. You've got individual listings. Where do you see the bulk of growth coming from? Or are there even new revenue streams or new services that could add to that?
So a lot of our revenue in the UAE and in Saudi, but I'll address UAE first. In the UAE comes from the real estate segment and then the car segment. Those are the really two main segments for us. If I break it down further, in the real estate segment, over 90% comes from agencies where we have business-to-business contracts with them or subscriptions. And then on the car side, over 60% comes from dealerships, and the rest of them comes from individual listers and some other value-added services that we have. So that's that. And in Saudi, as I said, it's early days. We have the classifieds play where, again, we're working with the agencies on the ground and have contracts with them. And then also, as I said, it's early days. We also have this integrator services play, which is really opening up the developer segment or the new primary segment, new build segment to the agencies as well.
Okay, so the current trajectory is going to continue, is what you're saying there. We saw acquisitions in the real estate space, Property Monitor, obviously most recently. We've seen it in the auto space, filling out those verticals. Are there any plans to invest deeper in any of the smaller verticals involved in the Dubizzle classifieds?
Yeah, we're always on the lookout for anything that's additive to our business. We're clear leaders in the goods category. Anything that really helps with that, or frankly with the real estate or the cars vertical, we're always looking out for those kind of opportunities. As you correctly pointed out, we've acquired Driver Ravia, which really helps open up kind of the new car segment for us, and then Property Monitor, which is a business intelligence platform for real estate agencies and agents, and really helps us have a pure focus on a data only insight backed platform to further educate the brokers and the market. So we're always on the lookout for those things. Dubizzle is it's made up of many, many verticals. Property and cars are just two of them. So anything that's additive, we're always on the lookout for those kind of opportunities.
You mentioned Saudi, as you say, just emerging for you as a market. UAE, your core market, 89% of your adjusted revenue for H1 is here in the UAE. Sure. What's going to grow Saudi? I know you've launched Bayut in Saudi. How do you grow it, and how much of your revenue could it become?
Look, Saudi is going through a pretty rapid development when it comes to the whole sector, real estate sector. You've seen some recent announcements where you have the market hopefully opening up to outside buyers beginning of next year. So that should be another shot in the arm for the market. But generally also, I think one difference is that it also happens to be a huge local market. And there's a lot of new construction that's being done, which eventually will become a larger secondary market. So there is an existing secondary market, but then there's a huge primary market, new build market that's going on that will eventually translate into a bigger secondary market. And I think we've really timed our entry well. We've scaled up very quickly. We have the highest amount of traffic, and I think we're very well positioned over there to capitalize on that growth as in the years to come. And it's going to be a large market, just the sheer population size and the numbers that we're looking at. I mean, if you look at the classified STAM right now, it's a little north of 2 billion. We see it growing up to 11 billion over the years. So it's pretty exciting. 20
seconds, Haider. Are there new geographic markets for Dubizzle or to expand Bayut in the short to medium term? 20 seconds.
So a lot of our focus is going to remain in the UAE and Saudi, and we're also in Egypt, and these are kind of the core markets that we're going to focus on. And then, as I said, we're always on the lookout, but our primary focus is just going to be over here, and we're just going to go full force on growing these markets.
Well, thank you for spending so much time with us this morning. Super busy time for the CEO of Dubizzle, having announced one of the most long-awaited IPOs on the local markets here. Haider Khan, just over 30% of Dubizzle going public. Thank you for your time.
Dubai Eye 103.8.